This is going to be a great episode for Dom and LS. This is the episode I'm down to dodge. I really thought about it over the weekend. Was like, tough stuff here. But welcome to episode number 11. We just had the first week of the mid-season showdown elimination rounds. So we finished round one. The way that the name is a little weird. Dom, LS, and your boy dGon here to break things down. And I think we got to start things off with a little Copium, right? Because my boy did not play as well. And here's the thing. So I got myself this brand new good stuff. It's brand new good Copium right here. It's Deftly. And you know, we'll just pop that open and just every time I say something that feels like it's a coping mechanism, we'll get that going. So yeah, we can have the Copiums in the chat. Yeah, there we go. It's all right there.
There it is.
No one's gonna talk about Sven Scare and Steel, right?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
All I care about is the last one.
Oh, that was a good hit. No one's gonna talk about how like Jizuke is probably calling on the back line, hey, just trade for the 80 carry and it's fine, right? Oh god, yeah, it's so good. It's so good, yeah. Definitely still got a bunch of third place all ADC votes in the all NA team. Oh god.
Wow, how disgusting is that? Well, we gotta take away privileges from whoever voted that. What the hell?
That's good. I think it was actually high.
People that do that are just stats Andes, I swear. They're like, look, his stats aren't that bad. He must be playing well.
Definitely is great, right? Hey, all I can say is I'm proud of the fact that, hey, look, there were a bunch of places that he could have ended up this season. He ends up over at Evil Geniuses, and, you know, they got to that point. So I hope that he's able to bounce back. You take a look at all the greats, you know, LeBron had to make every shot. Michael didn't make every shot. Jensen just needed to press R. They all ended up bouncing back and winning championships. I'm sure he'll be able to bounce back. That is my speech at the top. Because I think when we get to Evil Geniuses against DSM, I'm not going to be able to say anything because that shit hurt. All Saturday it hurt. I hosted a CSGO tournament this weekend. And so I didn't get to watch the games fully live. But I would every now and then like turn on the Twitch stream and just be like, oh shit, look at that. They're winning 1-1. This is tight. Okay, we got Tristana priority. This is fine. Play safe, you know. We've seen all these other AD carries fuck up like Tristana. Like, you even have a built-in excuse. And then we saw game 3, the fucking Nautilus hook. And it's like, all right, that's okay. You know, like, let's get the fuck off of it. We get Kaisa. Oh shit, up 7-0, 8-0. This is great. And then
have you ever seen a less scary 8-0 Kaisa? Like, you see fucking Kaisa in a fucking like LPL game, they'll be 8-0 and they're literally like fucking Neo from the Matrix, man. Like they're impossible to hit. They're somehow like frontlining, dealing insane damage. You see Deftly walks in, like flash autos, just gets instantly headbutt out and then just keeps on walking in and dies. It's the least scary 8-0 Kaisa I've ever seen in my life.
I just think that it's the fucking 6 million difference. Team 6 million, just he's too fucking good. Fucking Sword Out was just oh god, god. It's just his fucking Sword Art's so good. Oh god.
Jesus, man. This is tragic.
All right, now we'll get to more of this in just a little bit. We may or may not have
picked a worse player to hype up. Like, could you have found like a player that has less of like a problem? Like this is like being a Golden Glue stan at this point, where it's just like, dude, it's just never happening, bro.
No.
It's literally never happening. Like it's never gonna be good. All right, like
you could have been fans of Tommy Boy and his gold star. You could have been fans of Luigi. You could have believed in Dardoch being able to turn things around over at Dignitas. There's a lot of players that you could have been a Johnson stan. Johnson looked really bad. You know, there's a lot of players that you could have like made your stake your claim to. And that wasn't a personal jab. That wasn't a personal jab. That wasn't a personal jab.
Johnson down the line, you have way more potential to actually live a happy life if you're a Johnson stan.
Johnson stan than a Deftly stan.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I think there's something to staying power and being in there. We'll get into that in just a little bit. We'll get into that in just a little bit.
That I just hit 500K on Twitch. That's all.
Holy shit. 500.
Congratulations.
Nice.
500K there.
I'm here with you guys, so
Hey.
Hey, I'm glad to be 400,000 of that 500,000.
Yep.
Everyone, Pog, give the clap in the chat here for LS.
Like
Very nice.
499,000 accounts. That's all.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful.
All right, so let's kick things off with something that I said 2 episodes ago that we had a lot of fun doing, and it's who's that LCS player, right? We talked a lot about players of the past. We know that LS and Dom were in the North American space relatively early, and a lot of our viewers haven't seen season 2, season 3, season 4 League of Legends. They don't know everything. So we're gonna go through some of the players of the past. I'm gonna throw out a couple of hints and they're gonna guess who this is. Okay, and this one came up because I had a fan of them in one of my games, because this player had the name of the professional player, and I was like, is this real? Are you a Smurf? And then he was playing poorly, and I was like, I still can't tell if this is you or not. All right, so this player came into, I would say, high profile acclaim in season 4, but when you look at his career, the longest time spent on a team for this player was for Denial Esports. And I'll even be specific, Denial Esports West. So Dom, you know the challenger space. Denial Esports had been around for the longest time. He was on Denial Esports and Denial Esports West for 11 months. 11 months and 3 days, if I'm going to be specific. The role that this player plays is support. So Denial Esports came into the spotlight back in season 4. Yes, those are probably the best things. Known for his Thresh and Zyra, I would say. Who am I? Thresh and Zyra.
They never played in did they ever play in LCS?
They did, but the longest time they spent on a professional team was Denial Esports. I have seen. Okay, so chat is scrolling through. I am scrolling through here. Who do we think here, chat?
I feel like it. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be Glebe, because like I just remember that he would because I would scrim at the time, right? And he would actually I mean, I'm not even saying this ironically. He would actually go crazy every other scrim block. So they would have to cancel scrims, and then he would just get kicked off team after team after team. So maybe him, because I feel like he was talented, but no one could handle him personally.
Dude, this is so weird. Glebe he's in my chat sometimes. This is so weird that you just randomly chose Glebe.
Wait, was that Glebe?
Well,
he's in chat. He was in chat yesterday.
Is that your guess?
Yesterday.
Is that your guess?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Is that? Yeah, I'll go with that too.
All right. Well, I got him in my solo queue game. Yes, I'm talking about Glebe Glarbu, who came into fruition here as the TSM support back in 2014, May of 2014, after
something
spending
happened
time
with the FBI and him recently,
on
right?
Cloud9, Tempest, and Curse Academy. I do not know. He was also on Evil Geniuses as a sub, but the longest time he spent was
he was on
Denial Esports. Yeah, Evil Geniuses, Curse Academy, Cloud9 Tempest, TSM, Team Fusion, Winter Fox Vortex, and then was part of the Ember roster that tried to make it from Challenger into LCS. You're talking Glebe Glarbu. I had him in my solo queue game. I think he was playing mid, or just a fan of him, maybe just a fan of him that had the name Glebe Glarbu, and all of us were like, is that really him?
Well, it must have been him, because I don't think he has any fans. So
no, there was
Jesus.
That's
well, I'm just saying, maybe not.
Glebe Glarbu.
Okay.
Everybody, your LCS player of the history. So we'll be looking forward to playing this game next week with another support. Click on his Twitter page. It says account suspended. So I'm not sure what happened with Glebe. but last seen.
Oh, he was like
in
threatening
the
people, wasn't
professional
he?
space.
Why would you choose that player? Like,
I
what
didn't know. I didn't know this stuff. He was just in my. He was
Like,
in my
you don't
solo
remember
queue
when he
game.
threatened? You don't remember Loco's stories where he like threatened to kill Loco or something, and he ended up on the FBI list? Like, what type of game is it? Can we talk about the actual? What is this? What is Facecheck turned into? What the
I
fuck?
was just trying to make it like a funny trivia game. Jesus.
Oh.
All right. That's my fault. All right. Well, moving on from that LCS player, let's get into the matches this weekend on Midseason Showdown. All right, so let's start with the one that will hurt a little bit less and will probably take a little bit less time to break down. 100 Thieves versus Dignitas. The quickest series of the weekend. Let's see. Actually, I got a message. Yeah, the quickest series of the weekend. It started off with an Ahri pick. I think there was a tweet out, Dom, about not recognizing what patch Dignitas were playing on. The Volley Bear pick was locked in, 11 point whatever patch we were
Volley
on.
Bear on 11.5. Haha.
Yeah.
Good one.
Not quite the case there. And to be fair, it felt like Dignitas had chances to win, but then team fighting came on in and Ahri Saligo just was not in a position to find any success. Dom, what did you think of the series?
Well, I mean, you know, earlier in Facecheck, like a few weeks ago, we compared Dignitas to like a cow and the dolphin. Like, you remember the image, right?
Do you have the
if
image,
you leave
Joe?
a cow in water long enough, the thing's gonna fucking drown, and that's what happens to Dignitas. Like, Dignitas just fucking drowned out there. Like, they're completely out of gas. At the end, like, you could tell that was like the least inspiring performance. Like, normally you see a team like fighting in game 3, like at least like trying to make a stand. They just rolled over and died. Like, Jarnak just started straight running it down. Like, they didn't care at all anymore. They're like, all right, guys, we made it to playoffs. Good enough. Wrap it up. We made it to playoffs with 5 native players. It's already an accomplishment. So, yeah, they're just happy with the performance.
Yeah, not the hugest fight back here by Dignitas against 100 Thieves. And to be honest, I will say the good that came out of it was probably the best media post, the best post from the social media manager there, where it was like, hey, we're proud of our team, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whoa, cool. Like, no mentioning of anything else. It's just, hey, a good straight social media post there by their guy. I'm glad that they were able to get that out there and girl, and glad they were able to get that out there for the team.
I think upgrade to the pee in my mouth tweets that they were doing earlier. Not the best ones.
Not the best ones, no. LS, when we look at this Dignitas team here, this is what was expected, maybe even overperforming coming into the season, right?
I mean, I think it was expected that they would perform lower. I don't think that they were slated to make playoffs, right? It was the original prediction. So I think that they really not overperformed, but I think they really they exceeded expectations, I think, right? I think I mean, I might be wrong on this, but I think quite a few people actually didn't consider them to get blown out by 100 Thieves the way that they did.
Yeah,
self-admittedly, I thought that they would have put up a much better showing than they ended up doing, but rough times.
Yeah. I think what we talked about, actually for both teams, we were talking both teams that lost last week in TSM and in 100 Thieves, that it really depended on what form we were going to get of them, right? Were we going to get a team that was the consistent dominant form, or were we going to get a team that was still trying to figure out how they wanted to play in 100 Thieves, right? With Tommy Boy collecting the gold stars on mages, and he had a couple of whiffs on the Orianna shockwaves.
But that's the thing is, what was so sad was it wasn't like 100 Thieves played really well and then Dignitas just couldn't match their level. It was like 100 Thieves played like 100 Thieves and Dignitas just like couldn't even match like a mediocre 100 Thieves level. Like I in no way take this victory for 100 Thieves as like, oh, now I think they can actually compete against TSM next week. Like, I'm still gonna have them as massive underdogs against TSM, and I don't think they can place higher than 4th. Maybe they can, like maybe they end up having a good series. I mean, TSM doesn't look convincing themselves, but like I don't know. There's so many times where I'm watching the series where I'm like, oh, that missed shockwave, like that would probably matter versus a better team. Like if you go into a series, you miss like 8 Orianna shockwaves, probably not gonna have the best series. But versus Dig, it's like a fucking 3-0 victory when you do that.
Yeah. With this roster here on Dignitas, because we are saying goodbye to them, there was a lot of talk about the inconsistency and struggles that Someday was having. Didn't feel like he had a ton against Fake God on the top side of the map, Dom. I kind of want to know your thoughts on like why that was being pushed around as a narrative coming into this.
I mean, I don't think Someday's had a great season either, and I think Fake God's overperformed for what you'd expect, but Fake God just wasn't on Fake God champs until like the last game. Like they kept on picking like GP for him, and it's at some point you have to realize like, how did you get here? Like how did you get to this point in playoffs? It literally was it was a huge amount by like fluking victories. Like if you think about both games versus TSM, so many times, think about the Dignitas game versus FlyQuest at the end of the season, where they're just like, FlyQuest is a bad team. They're down 2 inhibs. They're about to lose the game, and they randomly win one team fight because the other team doesn't want to wait for Sidewaves to push because, you know, NA got the blinders on, so only can see the mid lane. So in this type of situation, like, you would expect Dig to at least go back to the picks that they were playing that worked for them. Like, fuck it, just blind pick Gnar every game, blind pick Renekton every game, blind pick like Aatrox for Fake Out. Just play his champions. Like, he's not the type of player where he can match up skill wise versus the better top laners in lane, and especially not on picks that he's not comfortable on. So I really hated their idea of like giving him GP, giving Sligo Ahri. Like, at least play like strong champions in the meta. If the enemy team wants Orianna, pick Azir. Pick Azir and pick Gnar, and then just play the game out like that. Even if you don't get good matchups, you have to play what your players are strong at.
Yep. Well, again, just do you feel, LS, that like this is something that was good for Someday? It's like, hey, look, we played a lesser team, you got to beat someone up, and that feels good? Or do you feel like something's up with Someday and the rest of 100 Thieves with the Golden Thieves roster that coming on in, and now Ryoma being slotted on in?
Well, I mean, I think against TSM, I don't know. I mean, I imagine that 100 Thieves probably aren't favored against TSM, but I don't really know what to make of it. And on Dom's topic about like the champions that they were playing inside of the series, I don't know what some of those drafts are. I didn't watch the phases, so I don't know how they arrive at these conclusions. I don't know what the hell is going on there. Ahri Priority, I actually got asked about Ahri earlier on Twitter. Someone asked me, or no, I got tagged in fucking Michaela's tweet, right? Let me look at something. So I got tagged in Michaela's tweet that was asking like, why are pro players picking Ahri? I am convinced that pro players who pick Ahri, something is just fucking off. Like, something is
what?
Like, because no. What I mean by this is, okay, so by the way, dGon, you were so loud. I don't. Is it only loud for me?
No, it was
I don't know.
for me.
That was really loud. Okay. No, but Ahri has a really abusive laning phase, right? What the hell is going on? Okay. Ahri has a really abusive laning phase because she can just QQ the wave, right? And be super safe. So really bad players can just cheat laning phase with her. And then she has 3 flashes or 4 flashes, right?
I mean, I think it's just kind of like the Ori matchup, right? Like people like Ahri into Orianna. Like, they've always liked it because essentially when Ahri has ult, if you have hands on Ahri, you can pretty much blow the Orianna flash on cooldown. So
no, they've been playing her into a ton of stuff though, like worldwide, like players in other regions, right? I'm talking like regional leagues. Obviously she was also picked in like wildcard region. And then she's also even been picked in LCS by, what was it, Jensen?
You just said wildcard region. Oh, never mind.
Okay. All right. I mean,
I'm confused. I'm sorry.
The thing with Everfrost is interesting, right? Because it actually gives Ahri a 4th ability. Previously, she only had 3. So Everfrost actually almost gives her a W, whereas like right now I don't know, man. I can't say nice things about her. She's trash. People that pick her have a very flawed view on mid lane. Like, I don't know what you want me to say, okay? I tried to keep it in. She's fucking garbage, man. Her items are shit. She has difficulty itemizing, especially with the new items, because you don't want to build certain items on her because it's counterintuitive with her kit, but you have to because mages don't have other items. The only reason that she's existing right now is because Everfrost gave her a W ability, but she's bad, and the only people that pick her are bad players because they can't lane and they can't play other champions and they're fucking bored.
Okay,
All right.
so how do
Dom,
you
over to you.
explain how do you explain currently the rank 14 player in Korea that's an RE1 trick?
Oh my god, I just said she's abusive at laning. She lets you cheat by laning phase versus way better players. There's a lot of champions like this, actually, historically, right? Talon is one of them in AD form, right? You just walk up to the wave, you QQ it. And if you're both high MMR, there's a limited amount of options that the other high MMR player can actually do to interact with you, right? And then they run out of fucking pings, pinging that you're going bot or top, and you still get the kill. It's honestly impressive, right? So there's champions like this that sometimes exist, and Ahri is one of them. Ahri is like one of those cucklord champions that it's really hard to do anything against her if the other player is even remotely sentient, and she cheats laning phase.
Okay, geez.
Yes, and then she has kill confirm, right? With R plus Everfrost, unless you have no hands. She has kill confirm, which is really powerful for solo queue, and it's also very powerful for not high level play. In higher level play, people are going to position right. They're going to play better champions, and just because Ahri has R plus Everfrost does not magically mean that she's a justifiable pick.
Oh
Yeah,
my
there it
God.
is.
I'm looking at this RE1 tricks build, and I just literally got an eyesore from it. Okay, listen to this. Listen to this build order.
Oh God.
Okay, first
You're
item
gonna
Everfrost.
say like Leandri.
No,
okay.
no. First item Everfrost. I'm completely fine with that. Okay, Everfrost. Then Zhonya's second. So think about how much AP you probably have. Then Cosmic Drive third, and then Horizon Focus fourth.
I hate Cosmic Drive, by the way. This item drives me up a wall. This item drives me up. You deal no damage. You. Hold on, wait. Let me look at something really quick. Let me look at Cosmic Drive, dude. This item drives me up a wall. The amount of people that say that it's good. So it gives you. No, it's terrible. So if you have at least 160 ability power, you gain 20 ability haste on top of the 20 that it already gives you, right? It has 75 ability power, 200 HP. But generally, whenever someone talks about HP on mages, it's often like lumped in as like a bonus on top. If anyone ever references the HP on a mage as if it's like an actual selling point rather than as like a little bit of fluff, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, and this car comes with an extra, scented candle. You know what I mean? Like this is not a thing to talk about. And then you get 10 to 30 based on level bonus movement speed. So realistically, when you complete this item, you're going to be getting anywhere from 20 to 25 MS, right? So Lichbane literally gives you more damage because when you're using Cosmic Drive, right, you're often in range to hit the opponent, right? So the champions that use it, if they're in fucking range, they could just do a Lichbane proc, and basically Lichbane's just more consistent than this item, except for the ability haste, right? The argument is the ability haste, but the ability haste is really difficult to get into the nitty-gritty of because it's a practicality argument. Practicality arguments are always really hard to have with yes, it's like Cloud Soul, and I mean there's other things, right? But practicality arguments in general are really, really, really hard to have with people who might not be entertaining all the same variables as you. Especially if you can account for more like variables. You know what I mean? Those arguments are always the most like skull-crushing ones.
It goes back to the Skarner argument that we had before, right? Like it's about how often the extra ability actually matters, and like no, like actually though, that I wasn't joking. It's about like how often that extra ability matters and how often you're casting abilities off cooldown. Like that's like huge when you're talking about CDR. Like CDR only matters if you're going to get it off like an extra impactful ability, and then you have to compare it to other items and like how much more damage those abilities do, and you have to do the math on the whole thing. So yeah.
Lucina in chat's about to make me reach through the fucking monitor. I swear to God, if I could. Oh, Lucina. No, but okay. So Cosmic Drive, I think, can be picked up as like a fourth item, right? It's a novelty item. It shouldn't be core. It really shouldn't be core.
I mean, my take is that you can build like one of these items before you're going to need a Void Style. Like you can't go Everfrost, then Zhonya's, then Horizon Focus and Cosmic Drive. Like you need to be like it's like Everfrost, and then choose whatever fucking item you want with your Everfrost, and then it's like avoid is necessary, and then you, like 4 or 5 is like Zanya's Death Cap. It's like you pretty much need to be like you can't just like all these items seem like okay, but you can't have all of them together. You just have to pick.
Yes.
Which one is gonna be
That's
best
the
for
problem.
situation.
Yes. Is that often the utility of this item does not actually outweigh the need to have other items. That's the main problem. Yeah.
248 games played, and I
Why is
don't
this
know, man.
on
It's the
screen?
stats
Don't
here.
look at the screen. You're gonna tilt. R/Ahri mains.
I've always been an advocate of the roaming playstyle paired with building
You're
CDR.
trying to end me.
With
You
my
got- you're
build
try-
around 3
you're
items, I
trying to end
reach
me.
about 35 seconds with my R. Cosmic Drive fits the playstyle perfectly. If you don't like the CDR playstyle and prefer burst, you can understand why Ahri's scaling is quite weak. So in my opinion, it is far better to rely on her base damage and lower the cooldowns instead, which also leads to a damage increase and utility. The reason this new iteration of Cosmic Drive is so strong is because it gives 40 ability haste and math. Okay, currently, I personally think this is the strongest build path to start with the Manic Mythic component and then build a component of either Zanya's or Banshees, depending on your lane opponent. So there he is. The only thing crap about Cosmic Drive is the build path. Opinions? Thank you, Ahri Mains.
Okay, nice.
Damag.
Sorry, I'm on hold with my my local hospital right now. Thank you for that one, dGon. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I like going back to the fact that you said way before we deep dove into this, it really just stood out that in top tier pro play, people are going to position better, and that's why Soy Luigi was not able to find any angles here on Tommy Boy, and Tommy gets all the gold stars because of his positioning and not opening himself up to
How
getting
crazy
destroyed
is it
by
that
Ahri.
Orianna can whiff her ult and still be a better champ than Ahri. That's insane. That's what I learned this series. I was like, damn, I thought that, like, you know, Orianna was good. I didn't know that Orianna was that good.
Is that good?
Yeah, this Orianna better than Ahri.
All right, so I think we've broken this one down. This Dignitas team probably going to stay together, I assume. Do you see any changes needed for next split, given the fact that most people didn't have them doing too well?
I don't think
The
they're
whole
gonna do
thing. The whole thing is that if you're like, so what is Dignitas's upper management like?
I was
I
just
feel
wondering,
like
right? They didn't say that. So like,
Right.
if,
Okay.
If yeah, that's why. Like, otherwise, I would let you, like, you know, I'd go in on the upper management too. But like, they didn't say that. I was
No.
positioning the question on
I'm
myself.
just saying.
Yeah,
Is the goal not to always try to make worlds? Unless you're gonna somehow go some super branding route. But the thing is that I feel like the only org in LCS right now that could actually maybe go super branding would be what? I mean, TL has their Marvel partnership, right? 100 Thieves is insane, right? It'd be with all their other games and like merch. And then what? TSM would be the next thing.
Yeah, true.
TSM, but they just invested in their training facility, which I assume
I mean,
does mean that
Dignitas-
they want to grow.
Hey,
One-
Dignitas has been doing some
Team
branding on
16.
Twitter.
Either of you had the, I don't know if Dom got given it, but the TSM Worlds jersey. Did anyone get a hold of that? Either of you two?
No.
That is
Was that the one with the
highest,
dragon on it?
Yeah, I think it's the one with the dragon on it. That is the highest like quality fabric jersey I've ever seen in esports. No, I know it sounds really fucking weird. I know it sounds
It's not
that
weird. That's not
jersey.
meaty. What do you mean?
No. I'm being serious. It is so. I don't even know. I'm trying to think of like how to describe this. Like, it feels really, really good. The jersey. It doesn't feel like flimsy or weak or like like you could rip
like,
it.
If you're gonna have to live in that environment and have like like Reggie going in on you, you might as well feel
Oh my
comfortable
god.
in your clothing at least, because you're not feeling comfortable.
It's like
with your skin.
no,
I'll tell you that.
the best way I can describe it is that it's like a designer jersey. Like that's the only way I can describe it. I've never seen a esports jersey with that kind of texture and just put togetherness. It's a very poor way of articulating
one?
this. Yeah, they sent me and my grandmother one.
Right.
Because all like the TSM stuff last summer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why TSM doesn't interact with me much anymore. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't think there are going to be many teams playing for brands other than the developmental roster of Golden Guardians and FlyQuest figuring out which ways to give back, right? So we have brands here, but I don't know. I'm just interested in what the decisions will be in roster swapping around this split. We came into this season saying, hey, a lot of the stars are gone, retired, or whatever, and we're seeing a lot more new players get opportunities. Neo, who used to be Asta, getting another opportunity and showing up, getting himself, I think, third team all 80 carry awards being set up there. The players on this team all have contracts that run until 2022, except Afro, who is on a 1-year contract, which will end at the end of the year. So I find it interesting because they said early on, Dardoch and Afro, those are our pillars. We're going to build around them. I didn't think that was a good idea, but they made playoffs and found a way to get in. So what do you change, Dom, if you are a GM or a coach, if you were going to make a change?
So realistically, you have import slots, right? So like if you have the ability to import, like there are people that are out there that are better than your current players mid and top, right? Like Nemesis is legit on fucking LS's stream watching the games every week. Not saying you get LS to fucking join or Nemesis to fucking join, but I don't think
LS the top laner.
Yeah, LS the top laner. But no, I mean I think that Nemesis like would be a huge upgrade. I feel like people like Facecheck would be a huge upgrade. I don't think that Dignitas will do anything because this is the thing is like no one really reaches for the stars in NA. It feels like Dig is like, oh shit, our roster overperformed, and like the community's perception is like, oh well, if they perform this well in their first split, like maybe they could keep on improving for next split. But in reality, all the players have like such like a capped ceiling that I believe they're gonna do even worse next split. Like I don't think that they're gonna keep on improving. Like, oh, this is a pretty good first split. Like they're gonna like end up, developing like more and working on their laning, and then they'll be even better for summer. Like I think that this team is literally gonna be like 7th, 8th place in summer at least. Maybe like I think CLG will be better than them for sure. I think there's a chance that they get even under 10 wins in the next 27 games of LCS regular season. So
Jesus.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be pretty bad. So I don't think that they'll change anyone, but realistically, if they wanted to make Worlds, this roster just doesn't have the firepower to do it. Like you would need a really good mid laner or a really good top laner, and like obviously the pushback from the community is like not even worth it to actually make a change, right? Like if you ended up like replacing Fake God, people would be like, what the fuck, man, he didn't even play that bad. Like why does NA talent never get like the chances they deserve? But like in reality, if you watch his play, like he is very fucking limited. There's no world where I see Fake God being able to like compete with, like I think that Fudge has had a much better like line of improvement. Like you've been able to see like, oh, Fudge is actually now like laning well into top tier top laners. Oh, he's actually winning some lanes. Okay, he's like actually like looking like he's somebody who's going to end up being a top 3 top laner in NA. You don't see that same progression with Fake God. It's like Fake God is just like doing slightly better than people expected, right? Sligo's doing slightly better than people expected. At the end of the day, like you got hard 3-0'd by 100 Thieves. Like it's not like this team was kind of competitive. This team looked like by far the worst team in playoffs. They looked like the imposter, like they didn't deserve to be there. I mean, 100 Thieves is a team that could be the 5th best team in playoffs, right? Like they could be worse than EG. Like we're going to get to find out next week when they play TSM, like how they match up. But I could see a world where 100 Thieves is like I thought 100 Thieves was going to have a close series versus Dignitas. Like I didn't expect them to be that good of a team. So like the fact that they can't even compete with 100 Thieves makes me realize that they could never compete with top 3. Which means you have to like change your roster at this point because there's no like real inherent synergy between the players. Like maybe bot lane stays and maybe jungle stays, and then like you could see like if one of the solo laners you think could be like serviceable, and then you need like somebody to really start getting advantages in top or mid to actually have a chance of competing. I don't think anything will happen though.
Well, rough times. Copium.
I don't know what to say besides for like I don't know, man. It's too hard.
LS, closing thoughts here on Dignitas before we hop on over to that other series that may or may not have happened. Yes, on Saturday.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to it. TSM versus EG. 3-1. Not a great game for multiple people. There's Baron Steels, but definitely wasn't able to get himself up and over the end. Pretty sure that there's a lot of ways to break that one down, but I think that's the main storyline there. Evil Geniuses fall. TSM move on. Break us through that series. Dom, Joe, you can slap on my Copium picture over my camera for the rest of this series, the rest of this segment.
I think I have to change my because like my take on Deftly earlier this year, right, was that he's never the type of player that's gonna win you games, but he's also never gonna like lose you games. He's just gonna he's just gonna be like serviceable. Like the games that you're winning, you'll win with him. The games that you're losing, you'll lose with him. And when you're losing a game, he'll never actually like carry your team out like a top tier 80 carry will. That's what I said before, you know. I think I have to just change that, right? I have to just change that to he will actually. So he's never gonna win you. He's never gonna win you games that you're losing, but he'll also lose you games that you're winning because he's just not like competent enough in team fighting, and he's not mechanically strong enough to actually like put the team on his back or even use advantages that are handed to him, right? So for me, the way that I see it is like this player. I mean, you're 4 years into your career. Like you're like at this point, you're a fucking hard veteran. Right, like you've been, what? Like when did Teddy come into to LCK? When did
Leave him
Teddy
alone.
join
2017.
2017. Okay, 2017. You're like 1 year later than Teddy. Teddy's like considered like old for Korea standards. It feels like it's like, oh, look at this new young talent Gumayushi. Like he's fucking good, but that old man Teddy still got it. Like definitely that age, and for some reason, he's still considered like a young player.
Definitely 6 years into his pro career.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about like 4 years into
LCS.
LCS.
Oh, LCS? Okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah. I mean, once you're
it's only 4 years in LCS.
Yeah, it's 4 years in LCS, and this is what you're doing. Like at this point, like you know that he's like never gonna be a top tier 80 carry in the region. And at this point, it's like, do you want to start looking for Academy 80 carries that could potentially like have that clutch factor? You know, because I don't think that he's doing things that other players couldn't be taught to do. It feels like he's not losing the game and like dying randomly by himself all the time, but it's just when you get into team fights, even with a lead, he just can't actually play it. I mean, we should bring up the Parsec for that team fight for sure.
Interestingly enough, did I talk about this last week? Or I don't know, was it on Facecheck? I don't know. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude, I'm just doing so many random things. You know the topic of age, right? There's physical age, and then there's weathered age.
About it being weathered.
Okay, yeah. So a player who's 15 years old by the time they hit 20 is the same as a 20-year-old who hits 25.
I have a question for you. What happens if you've like been playing League for 11 years, but then you've also like been in like the scene for like 11 years as well, and you're 30 years old? Like, what happens then?
I think you're generally pretty hardened. I mean, I'm up there with you, right? Okay, so I haven't been in League for 11 years, right? But I've been in the scene for 16. Like across various titles,
I think you're still able to accomplish things, LS.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for like game hopping and like constant fucking fear and paranoia, like there's definitely
permanent state of crisis.
Yeah, actually, unironically, yeah. I think without that as like a motivational tool to like keep wanting to learn and then other stuff, I think most people begin. I mean, we see it right in so many other esports. It's like generally around the 4 or 5 year mark in other esports, unless the game's never changing. You know what I mean? Like those games that never have patches. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Though if the game's constantly having patches and changing, it feels like it's like 4 or 5 years. And then the people become very hardened, unless they're like creme de la creme, fucking top of the top, like pro player, right? I'm talking like average Joes.
Mm-hmm.
I think they become too weathered. And as soon as you're weathered in the esport, I think that's like that's just the hallmark of the end. Like you're just gonna permaglide. No, I don't know. Has anyone ever like been around for a really long time and then suddenly got really good?
Ghost, man. Ghost.
I don't think Ghost is necessarily better than he was. See, Ghost I think was underhyped.
Oh, I think Ghost
in
is
LCK.
super overrated. I flame this guy all the time.
Yes,
sure.
yes. So Ghost is always referenced as some top tier AD carry, but he's not. Like as an AD carry, he's not. As a tool to Damwon, he's necessary. He's essential, right? But if you had an AD carry that could fulfill his role, that's also just mechanically better and able to do individual things a lot better, he's an automatic upgrade to Damwon. The problem is that there's not a lot of AD carries that can actually do that in LCK. That's the whole problem. So Ghost is like an essential. He's like he's an important part to like a computer. It can't turn on without it. So he gets overhyped though because Damwon just wins. I mean, the same fucking thing happens to coaching staffs. I mean, Copium, Jesus Christ.
No, but it's actually true. I mean,
it's so pathetic. It's so fucking insane, dude.
Well, then
Dude, I saw the. Go. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say the other thing that you don't know is like a lot of players play a certain way because of like necessity, because that's like how they need to play for their team to win, right? Like I don't buy the argument that it's like, oh, a player like Ruler could never work with Damwon because he wouldn't be able to like actually like he needs to be resource heavy. Like what happens if Ruler actually just what happens if you put him on a team with fucking Canyon and Showmaker and suddenly he doesn't need to carry every game? Like you think he can't play weak side ever? Like I don't know. I think that there's definitely like chances for people that I perceive as better AD carries to be in that. Like Viper is another example. Like Viper was in LCK when he was playing with Hanwha Life. They were like 1-14. Everyone kind of wrote him off. Like you're watching him with EDG now. Like this guy looks like a freak. Like I would say this guy is better than Ghost for sure.
Oh, I mean Viper. No, I think a perfect. I mean you referenced him, right? Ruler could do what Ghost is doing. He could. Mm-hmm. Another AD carry that could do what Ghost is doing is Teddy. Mm-hmm. Teddy could do it. Gumayushi, I don't think
maybe
could do
not.
It.
Yeah, maybe not.
Gumayushi couldn't. Even though Gumayushi, I think he's top 5 in the world for AD carry, but I don't think he could do what Ghost is doing in a weird fucking. I mean, that's just how it works. So sometimes this just happens. So on the topic of like
top 5 in the world.
Yeah, Viper's in my top 5.
Okay.
Viper's in my top 5. It gets a little bit. I had the conversation with several people on like if Reckless manages to get into the top 5.
He's in the top 5.
Is he in your top 5? He's right on the edge. So there's that, but it's pretty interesting, right? So Deftly, I think is really likely very weathered. I don't see any magical upside, nor do I see some magical progression. You know what I mean? I think it's really weird that a lot of people can't talk about him without referencing stats as well. I think that's very strange.
Yeah, I mean, just watch him play, right? Like he doesn't read situations super well. Like and like people will give the like analysis of like, well, like maybe like EG doesn't have the best comms, but I don't actually care about that because I feel like AD carry team fighting, a lot of it is just based on like you reacting to like what you can do on your screen and like having awareness of like the whole thing yourself. So I feel like if other people are telling him the wrong thing to do, if you're a top tier AD carry, you just you just won't do it,
I mean, that is one of the few places that I would point to. I mean, you look at the roster and you have strong-minded vets everywhere that are all trying to fit pieces in with Impact, with Jizuke, Ignar's always roaming, and Svenskeren, who's won MVP before. Like, those are 4 guys that all have their own way of looking and thinking about the game. Also, give me a second. But that said, I do think that is at least a valid thing to consider. Also, I was looking up, while you guys were making the point of weathered players that have
holy shit, your
been
mods
able
are actually
to...
just so delusional. I wish I could ban this guy.
Why? Who? What?
the comment. Yeah, Dom, you read situations.
No. That's Kolsky, dude. No, that means he loves you. He's hate modded.
Oh, he's hate modded?
Yeah. He used to show up to every stream. He had a Twitch Prime. Okay, so let me tell you what it means. He had a Twitch Prime icon next to his name, right? He'd show up every stream. He would flame me. All he would do, negative, toxic comments. So I decided I'm going to fucking mod you. And here we are. Look, 13-month sub, gifted 5, and he still shows up to every stream and he mods.
Yeah.
And people tell me I don't know about how to reform people. Come on.
Wait, how do you know he doesn't just ban like all your fucking like intelligent viewers and subs and shit?
No, he doesn't do that. Look, he's trying to
You'll
show
never
you right
know.
now that he likes you.
Ah, yeah, true. Triggered him.
Got him.
No, just like people like him, you can just tell they're fucking stupid. Like that's the thing is like I'm not comparing like when I'm analyzing a player like that, I'm not comparing him to myself. I'm not like, oh, I think I'm a better AD carry than him. Like that's such a basic way to fucking view it. It's like I'm comparing him to like his peers. Like I think that his peers in situations much better. I think people like Double Lift, like who's retired, could read a team fight way better than Deftly can. Like just natural like ability to understand where he can go, where he can't go, who he can hit, who he can't hit, like when to like commit into a team fight, when to not. Like that's the whole point.
The live video right now.
Oh my god, please unmod him so I can ban him. Please. Please, God. I just hate people like this. Oh god.
Dude, Joe just had the sickest edit in real time. That was pretty good. That was good. All right.
Wait, did he remove all my hair or something? Did he make me bald? What did he do?
Oh, fuck. You'll see it in the pod. Holy shit, too good.
No.
Oh god. All right, moving on. We got sidetracked by Kolsky.
Yeah. So back to my flaming of Deftly. Do we have the parsec ready? Oh, it's good to go. Whatever's on it. Okay, excellent. I've got a perfect situation right here. You ready for it, boys?
Is it the
Are you
mid
ready?
lane? Is it the mid lane thing? All right, go ahead.
No, it's the better one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna just
see
start
this.
playing it here. So actually, I'm gonna go 5 seconds before this. So watch definitely how he enters the team fight. Obviously, I think Jizuke kind of ends here on the side. Like he flashes into them for no reason when they have a free pick on Huni. Huni has no flash, so he's easily killable. It's the reason why I don't like Ignite Camille. Excellent. Now watch from this point forward. So TSM could actually leave here, but Spica massively overcommits onto Lilia for literally zero reason. Lilia still has flash, and no one can follow up the damage. And he drags his team into this terrible situation where now they end up like kind of trapped by EG. And Impact is still huge. Impact's still a stopwatch, by the way, as well, which is why he goes for this engage. So he goes for the EQ2. Okay, so definitely just can follow, like, if there's any communication, or even if there's not communication, he can just walk up and auto, and all you have to do as an AD carry here is either flash the Syndra Stun or flash the Alley combo. Like, outside of that, you're pretty much good to just hit anyone. Alistar has no ult. You're fucking 8-0 Kai'Sa. You kill anyone in 1 second. Just E forward and start autoing, and then flash one of the CCs. Watch what he does. Oh, the flash auto onto Lost. Okay. And then here, this is actually really unfortunate. So I have inside info. I think his mouse disconnected in this situation. And his keyboard disconnected too. Is really, really unlucky. So his mouse and keyboard disconnected. He just Pepega charges into 5 people and just dies instantly. That's your 8-0 AD carry in LCS. You are never winning a championship if you're on EG.
You see what he's trying to do? He's trying to flash the Alistar headbutt pulverize. He just ends up pulverizing. Look at Sword Art. Watch Sword Art's thing. He ends up pulverizing the ground, right?
I'm pretty sure he's just trying
Damn.
to flash it onto Lost. Yeah, no, he's just trying to flash it onto Lost. Like they're probably calling, oh, Lost is no flash, or like he's just trying to get onto Lost.
Yeah.
His intention is to just get onto Lost and try to one-shot him. Like, oh, if we kill the AD carry, we win. But in reality,
I mean, he plays it so reserved. Syndra's still on cooldown too, because she already missed her her E. Yeah, she already missed E, so she's still on cooldown. So he can react to Alistar, but he's not even
start hitting.
Yeah, he's not even attempting to react to Alistar. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
that's a good one. And we can watch the next one. All right, this one isn't as egregious. I mean, here he just ults in. Instantly dies, Camille's up, whatever. This one is not as egregious, but yeah. It's just like his team fighting. Like when you're an 8-0 Kai'Sa, you can 1v9 the game yourself. And like the other thing is good AD carries know how to like communicate how strong they are and like what they want their team to do in situations. Like if you watch like Like, I think that was something that like, I can reference Doublelift again because he's somebody who played in this region for a while. I feel like that was one of his biggest strengths. When he was strong, he could be like, just like hit anyone and mark this guy and we win. You know? Like, he would be able to tell his team what he needed to be able to carry a team fight. I feel like Deftly doesn't know what he needs to carry the team fight. He's just trying to be like, yeah, I'm going to like try to do my job. Wait, did he have stopwatch before this? Hold on. Wait, he has stopwatch. Hold on. Let's see how he uses the stopwatch this fight. Hold on. Let's see again. Definitely. Autoing. Ults here. Camille comes. Oh, his stopwatch just doesn't get used. Wait, he just doesn't even use his stopwatch and then he upgrades it into GA so no one knows. Oh no. Okay, whatever. We're done.
I think Loco just.
Everyone has bad days. I will. This is the last copium of the day before we move on. As you're referencing, one Peter Pang, who is probably the greatest AD carry in North America. I think that's fair to say. Definitely the most successful. It was
in
his
history, probably not right now, but yeah, in the history.
Yeah, in the history. Yeah, it was his summer of his 4th year, where he and CLG toppled TSM at Madison Square Garden to win his first championship. Right, I think I need a new shipment, guys. Do you guys have a new shipment?
Like, you need something else, bro. I got something else for you that's gonna hit harder than that copium. Let me just tell you, I got something else.
That's all I got. That's all I got. I'm done. All right, yeah. Give me. I might have to join Dom in the Black Eye Circle squad. Give me the good stuff, man. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. All right, cool.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent.
Now that we did our top tier analysis, breaking down stuff, people try to say sneaky. Yeah, no. All right, let's get to it. Let's break down our 2 matchups looking forward and never look back again. TSM versus 100 Thieves. Let's start there in the loser bracket. Since we've been talking about him so much, we hit it up just a little bit earlier saying, hey, Tommy gets some gold stars against Dignitas. Not sure they're transferable against 100 Thieves. What are we thinking in this against TSM? What are we thinking here in this matchup, LS, when you see 100 Thieves against TSM? And it feels like we're extending the conversation that I had from last week. Is it a consistency thing here for these two teams?
I mean, yeah, I think it's probably consistency for both. Self-admittedly, I obviously my tweet from yesterday, I did mention I could not see LCS yesterday, so I have to watch on the VODs. But then I saw that it was apparently fast 3-0, and everyone told me that it was a shit show. So yeah, I don't know what to really look forward to. I mean, for 100 Thieves. Yeah. So I'm not totally sure. I mean, if for TSM. It's kind of weird. As long as they show up and they're not, dude, I say this every week, and it feels I mean, I really do. But like, I feel like the comment section doesn't realize why it's the insanity. Like, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you have to keep repeating the same thing every week, it's because what is that noise? Hello?
What is that?
That was me. Sorry, I think I was drinking water in my mic.
Okay, that was some. All right, what the?
That's some ASMR stuff. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so it's like I dread the comments that are like, you say the same stuff every week. It's because it's not changing. Guy in comments, guy in chat, guy on Reddit, guy in Twitter. It's because it's not changing. So the only option is to keep talking about it, or just stop talking about it the second you stop talking about it. There's no analysis going on here. Yeah, I mean, they don't even talk about what's going on in the game. I don't really know. You know what the fuck the point?
That's guy voice.
That's a guy. You know, I mean, it's it's dreadful though. TSM are wildly inconsistent. I think their drafts were actually pretty bad in the EG series, but not as bad as Deftly. So
okay. Come on,
I had to
back.
Oh, definitely moved on. I think they call it passed on though. What do you know? All right. Oh my god.
What do I think about this? I mean, I really don't think that 100 Thieves can win like no matter what happens. I just feel like I feel like TSM will win regardless, just because 100 Thieves is just like a bad version of TSM essentially at this point. Like they don't really have anything that gives them an advantage, like through like drafting or anything like that. It just seems like they play fully standard, and then they're just not even that good of a standard team. So my prediction is we're just gonna see matchups like fucking Orianna Azir all the time. And like, is Tommy gonna beat Power of Evil on mages? No chance he's ever gonna beat PoE on mages. So you're just gonna get like a 3-0 or a 3-1 from TSM, and afterwards it's gonna be like, you know what, like 100 Thieves didn't do that bad, and then people are gonna be fucking on dGon's Copium. Oh, but 100 Thieves was only supposed to like be top 4 anyway, so it's okay that they finished 4th and they weren't actually competitive with the top teams, ignoring the fact that the league is way weaker than we thought it would be going into the split. But either way, like, yeah, I mean, I just don't think that this team has any way to really win. There's nothing that makes them special, and I don't think that, like, when you give TSM a full standard team to prep into, there's going to be issues with TSM just, like, blundering their own drafts to the point where they won't be able to win. I think that TSM will get strong picks, they'll get mage versus mage mid lane, and at the end of the day, they're just going to win because they have better players.
Well, we were chatting about it before the stream started, just kind of how it feels like this is a 2-team race with TL and Cloud9 just on a collision course back in the grand finals, and we get to see it here in the winter bracket finals. It speaks a little bit to just kind of like where we're at now in terms of a league, right? It's just like, hey, these two teams are playing at a different level. You can see it. You see it in the tactics. You see in the battles that they have. It's a different level. And a lot of the other teams, I'll even give it to TSM and 100 Thieves. You can see when they play at that level. There are times that they can do that, but it's not a consistent thing back to back and trying to maintain it over a long period of time.
I still have not seen 100 Thieves play at that level since they've had Ryan in the roster. There's never been a week where I've been like, oh shit. Like, you got to remember, coming into this, I think they were like 3-6 coming into the series. So I guess they're 6-6 with Tommy overall. But 3 of those wins are against Dignitas, and I think the other 3 wins are against bottom teams. So there hasn't been like an impressive game that they put together versus a top team where they've like systematically like closed out a game and just like had a good early game, carried that to mid game, and then won the game from mid game, like won the game either in mid game or mid to late game, like had a clean transition throughout the entire time that we've seen this roster together. Not one time if they beat a top team and it's actually looked convincing. So I don't know how you could ever go into the series and predict 100 Thieves to win, because they're not even playing like a style where before you could say like, oh shit, like, well, with the Monte, if they got going, you know, like they're pulling off like a lot of early dives and they were an early aggressive team, that could like, you know, win a series. Like, I don't actually see what this team does that could beat TSM. Like, what are they going to do better than TSM to win? It feels like they're just going to be a slightly worse version of TSM.
Well, so I feel like the only way that they beat TSM is if the TSM that like overforces, does really dumb stuff, picks super early game comps into. I mean, 100 Thieves have an affinity for early game comps, right? So
right.
If 100, so Dom, here you go. I'll give you a magic reference, right? So if 100 Thieves have big red and TSM just have mono or like regular red, then 100 Thieves, you know, depending on what TSM shows up the day, that's probably the only way that they win. Right? It's very similar team compositions where one just has a little bit more upside, and then depending on the tendency to just go on full tilt, one could win. I think that's the only universe, because otherwise I agree with you. They just have better players than 100 Thieves does, which is kind of weird. I made a comment. I don't know if you agree with this. I made a comment that, like, sometimes all things fucking ends up on Reddit, right? Where I said TSM doesn't have any star players, and the only one that you could argue is a star player is that a 9? Okay, so I said that one that you could argue. Well, I said the one you could argue, right, is Power of Evil. But when I say star player, I mean like international competition
no, they don't
contender.
Have any star players. That's not even controversial.
Oh well, Dom, slow down. You don't want to join in on the 1%.
Okay, all right, my bad.
Fucking shit.
No, but for real, like, yeah, they have no player on their team that is a star player internationally. I mean, unfortunately, what we learned is last year they had no player on their team that was like a star. But I would say that some of the players actually had more star power than their roster right now. Like, I would say that, like, when BB plays well, he has those like star qualities, you know, like where it's like, okay, he's like gonna take over a game, or he like is going to like go for like big outplays. Like I don't expect anyone on this team to like overperform internationally. Like I just don't see that that'll be a thing.
Are we just looking over at Sword Art here?
Sword Art was never a star player. I don't know why people think that he was ever a star player. He was never like the best player on any of the teams he was on. He was never like the star of Flash Wolves. Like the stars of Flash Wolves were like Karza and Maple. Like that, like when he was playing in Suning, he wasn't the star of that team. The stars of those teams were like SFM, like Bin and Huanfeng. He's a good supportive player, in general, that like is decently smart about the game and can like play around good players. He's a facilitator, and that's the whole reason why I hated TSM's lineup from the get-go, is they spent their most money on a player that is supposed to support other good players, and then you paired him with people that are not stars. You paired him with PoE, Lost, and Huni. Like, you didn't pair him with people that, like, it's like, okay, he's going to be able to play around this top tier 80 carry. Like, just literally just start importing from China, man. Literally, Wink is on the fucking bench. Wink is on the bench. This guy is actually a top 10 80 carry in the world. He's on the fucking bench. Like, you have people that come out that you've probably never heard before, right? Like, people have never heard before that come out and they're just freaks, right? Like, Gala has more star quality and star tendency than anyone in LCS, period. Like, it just is what it is.
I will caveat that just for this offseason because of the pandemic, right? It was even just a struggle to get Sword Art out here. But if this is a play that DSM does here in the future, then you could see how this play makes sense. And I appreciate you breaking it down like that, because I feel like a lot of people will say, hey, so Sword Art made it to finals, like world finals. He's carried the region of LMS while it was a region for a long time. That team was the only team that ever came out of there, other than who else? The TPA? No, AHQ. I know TPA did beforehand, but like for the longest time, it was AHQ second and Flash Wolves first. So maybe that is something in the books here for TSM in a little bit. All right.
Dom acts like he knows about so much about LPL, but ignores the fact about how trash Suning is without Sword Art. No, you just don't actually watch LPL, and you don't realize that Suning went on a massive run towards playoffs, and they were never expected. They were never dominating LPL. People make it seem like this team was actually one of the best teams in LPL. Where in spring last year they were garbage, and then they were they like went on a run, and then they somehow ended up getting like the 3rd seed from China when China wasn't even looking close to as good as they're looking this split. That's what it is. Holy shit.
Got a lot of very active.
And then they're also ignoring the fact that On is just bad. Where it's like, Sword Art was a good supportive player. He was good at supporting carries. And then you have On who's always off. So, yeah. Like, that's such like fucking results-based analysis. It's just disgusting.
Well, I want to be able to, we're closing up here up against our time today. So I want to look towards peak North American League of Legends in Cloud9 TL. This is the matchup that we've expected. Top 2 teams that have been performing. Perks, Jensen. Lots of storylines here. Where do you bring it to first, LS?
I mean, oh god. All right. Listen, Cloud9 is gonna win. Okay.
You think so?
Yeah.
This is where I think I'm different than you. I actually think TL's gonna win.
You think TL's gonna win? I think it's really close.
1%.
I really do think
it's really close too.
I think it's really close, but it's Cloud9 in the best of series. Well, I mean, I know that we had the lock-in, right? But I don't know. Interestingly enough, I had Fudge on my co-stream, right, for the T1 match yesterday. T1 versus Chovy. And
How'd that go
I
for
actually
I'm sorry. Just asking.
You know, honestly, it was like, dude, it was rough.
Like, how bad is Johan though? Like, come on, for
Congregation
real.
was canceled.
That guy is not good. Johan is not it, and neither is Arthur. I'm just saying.
No.
Like, there's some issues in jungle for HLE.
So I asked him, what he thought going into the series, and I think he gave me an actual honest answer that he thinks that they're slightly favored. And I say that because about a week ago he said TL was favored.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think his answer's honest. I could see them beating TL. I mean, TSM can take a game. 9 can take a series. Like,
I mean, they have to beat him twice. Wait, so are we talking about just for this match, or are we talking about overall? Like,
oh yeah. By the way, I want to point out.
this match.
I fudging hate this, dude. I hate it so much. I don't know you guys' takes on this. I wholeheartedly disagree that not having to play one extra best of 5 series is somehow better than being allowed to lose one. You know what I mean? The format.
Yeah. Like,
I fucking hate it. I've never talked to one fucking player that ever agrees with the sentiment, by the way.
So having like a twice to beat advantage, like a true grand finals, would be
yes.
better.
So in StarCraft and in
Fighting games.
Melee,
Finals,
well,
something like that.
historically, I think, yeah, Smash, there's the bracket reset,
Yeah.
right? You force the bracket. Now, people will always fucking say, oh, it's too long of a day. No, it's not. Like, no, it's not, because there's other esports that do the bracket resets, but also Riot can definitely produce 2 best of 5s in one day. You just use a different casting team. Like, that's all that it is.
that sounds like a lot of league, man. I don't know if they can.
That's
do
a
that.
lot of league. You're gonna dilute
mean
the
10
No, back in my
product.
day, we would have days.
You would have tournaments
where
that
we
are
would
longer
have-
than that.
We would have 12 games in a day sometimes at a
Yes.
tournament.
Yes.
Just saying, like, it's possible. Get there at 10 a.m., finish at midnight. Yeah.
No, I mean, it doesn't even actually take that long. How long is an actual best of 5 if it goes to 5 games?
5 hours.
Okay, well, it's a little bit longer
with,
than
like-
that because ads and stuff, right? Like,
Well, no,
well,
it's like normally around
okay,
5
okay.
hours.
I would
So
say it's
it-
5
it-
hours because some games are like stomps, right? It'll be like a 30-minute stomp. You get the ads, you get the breakdown, then you're back into draft by.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on
the-
like
on
if
the hour.
like you know like I mean it depends on.
Okay,
the
you
production
could-
delays.
You could do something
Yeah,
like the first
too.
one's a best of 5, and if the other team wins it, then it goes to a best of 3. You could do something like that.
Or you could
That
just
would
have
be
one
fine.
game advantage in the best of 5, like the second.
That
best
would
of
be
5.
fine too. But there should be some reward that is not, well, you have to play one less series. I've never met a pro player who ever shares that sentiment. I really haven't.
The only
And I'm
time
not
where
saying
that
they don't
matters-
exist.
and
I'm just
the only-
saying, yeah, go.
Well, I was just gonna say the only time that it matters is when there's an actual like really competitive like 3rd seed team in the region where it's like playing that extra series, like you're gonna have to show everything, and you like the 3rd seed is a legitimate contender to like win the whole thing. If the top 3 are all really close in skill, I think then it can have like some impact. But right now, it feels so much less impactful when it feels like a 2-team race.
Okay, then give upper bracket a 1-game advantage in the best of 5.
Sure.
Or turn it into best of 7. Turn it
Yes,
into
yes,
best of 7
That's what I was
and make it
gonna
a
say.
1-game advantage. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I think that's something that can be done. I think best of 7 is something that can definitely be done.
It's just for people, audiences. I think considerations that people might be taking are like the Riot might be taking is it's expensive to put on a production, and if you have like ads and ad breaks and partnership deals and
It's
all that
probably,
stuff.
like, a lot less expensive during Corona, though, right? I would assume.
Yes, I agree. But then if you set that up and then you're like, okay, partner, this is happening at this time, but then you have a variance of like 5 hours or like half the show. That
Right.
kind of is it is a nightmare logistically to fit in things that aren't movable, right? Things that Riot don't control. Riot can't control the casting duo. They can control the production team that they use, but when they have outside like sponsorships or obligations or TV rights, like it becomes very, very, very difficult and expensive to manage that because there's nothing like that in traditional sports. Like there's rarely anything that's like, yep, this match is going to go as long as it takes. Maybe baseball, but even then baseball, if they, keep playing infinite innings, those are spectacles and rarely happen. So if you have a baseball game, you expect it, hey, these innings take this long. It's going to be about anywhere between 2.5 to 3.5 hours. If a game goes any longer than that, it'll be that. If you say, hey, this could be anywhere between 2.5 and like 7 hours, it just is a complication there. So that is only if we're talking from a production standpoint. Tennis as well. Tennis is a good one. That's a nightmare when like they like play and then the sun goes down, or golf and then the sun goes down. They're like, yeah, we're going to resume this at night and no one's going to get to watch it. do you get to watch the beginning half of the game in tennis and then how it affects the rest of the schedule if you're at Wimbledon or whatever and it's a quarterfinals and not just an opening seed? So from a logistic standpoint, it is difficult. I think for esports, this is something that we should look at. It is something that we should look at in terms of competitive integrity and just be like, hey, this is just how it is, and own it. LCS and League of Legends is a leader in esports. They can go ahead and make that change. And I think the two options that we've brought together are actually pretty cool. And we've seen that the LCS is willing to switch up the format because of how we have gotten here with the midseason showdown in the first place. So yeah, sorry, I feel strongly about that too, because I'm tired of having these types of conversations where it's like, oh, the better team won, or like the better team, gets put in a disadvantage because of this type of format. Everywhere else, there's an advantage somewhere else. All right, Cloud9, TL. So TL, Dom, slight TL, and Cloud9, slight Cloud9.
I think it's really close though.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. LS, what you got?
I mean, I find it doubtful that it'll be 3-0 for either party.
Brave analysis.
Yeah, thank you. But we'll go. Oh, man, I hate saying 3-1, but we'll go 3-1 Cloud9.
Ooh.
Okay, LS changed.
Yeah.
I thought only men do 3-0 predictions.
What happened?
I'm sorry, Dom. Are you flaming my sexuality? Or are you trying to say that I'm not? Oh, sorry. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna. Oh, Riot Games is calling.
This episode has been a lot of fun. We've gone around all over the place.
Actually pulled the gay card on me. That's fucked up.
It's also.
No, I do this to Nemesis all the time.
That's also how close we've gotten. We spent we spent a little while.
Ellis really loves me then.
That's what it is. We spent a little while. Normally it's like, hey, we're here. Let's start. We had to set up the stream today and get things rolling, and we spent probably the most time ever. I think it was almost before the show, just kind of talking, catching up. So we knew this one was going to be a fun one. We knew this one was going to have a lot of spicy takes, and we know that we're getting to some more of the peak top tier League of Legends as we see C9 and TL back in the action after being off 1 week. We will be here. I guess they'll be there with the co-streams. Make sure to go watch those two. Hit them with your Twitch Primes with the what was it, the what sound effect for Niski over at Dom's, and hit him with all your Twitch Primes here at LS's for the listeners. Yeah, guys, anything else that you want to close off on? Dom first.
No, I think next week will be way more exciting than this week. I mean, losers bracket, like having only losers bracket, I think is kind of lame a lot of the time, because especially like first round losers bracket where like you don't really think that EG or Dig has that much of a chance coming in. But yeah, TLC9 we get next week, and then we also should have like TSM versus 100 Thieves, where I feel like TSM can actually prove some strength even if they are expected favorites. So yeah, should be a better week next week.
LS.
Listen, I need to see good champions picked in the next few weeks, okay? Otherwise, I'm losing my mind with the same repetitive pick bans. By the way, I just want to point out, okay, that the average amount of unique champions being picked, okay, in the world right now ranges anywhere from 30 to 34. That is insanely fucking low. That is so low for a best of 5. There is a problem. Anyways, that's all.
So are you saying that there's like I kind of actually want to ask, are you saying there's
we've got like 30 seconds though? Game
state, or would you say it's a problem with just like teams mentality?
Oh, I think it's totally a problem with team mentalities, of course.
Okay.
34 unique. Jesus Christ.
We'll see if that number rises here over the next week of playoff play. Keep an eye peeled for the regional leagues as well. They're starting their play-ins. They're getting kicked off here in Europe. And then lastly, over at VENN Esports, at VENN, our TikTok blew up. It went from like 3,000 to hundreds of thousands. Head on over to Watch VENN on TikTok for your daily dose of memery and TikToks. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. We'll be here next week to break down the action on Facecheck. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Well, that's the end of that video. You want more though, right? Thought so. Good thing YouTube makes it so easy to watch more VENN Esports simply by clicking the subscribe button, dinging the bell, and exploring all the other good stuff we have to offer. Got some good things. Yeah. I remember that one. Yeah, this was the one that we did that one time, and it was like so great. It was so good. I learned a lot. You should click on it. It's this one.